So, hello folks. Today we're actually trying to talk about we're trying to reimagine social media as we have known it before now. Now, I understand that you are a person who has been using centralized social media networks like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the rest of them. And then probably you've been using decentralized networks like Steam, and the rest of them. What we are trying to talk about now is a whole new different kind of paradigm. We are trying to talk about a system. It's called SUBSOCIAL, as you can see from the screen. So what SUBSOCIAL does in a nutshell, it gives you like a framework for building these systems. So what that means is before now, these like the Steam and the others, DTube and the rest of them, they give you a kind of a platform that is already been built, right? And then you cannot come and customize things and the rest of them. But with SUBSOCIAL, it is in different palettes. So we can decide to create different things. We can decide to create our own Reddit. We can decide to create our own Twitter from more of the stuff. We can decide to create and say, okay, these are the coins that will be in the system. We can decide to say, this is how we want to moderate our own stuff. So it's being built using Substrate pallets and all that. Now you might be asking, why do we need something like this? Now, one of the very first example is that of global censorship. So what that means is you saw what happened with President Trump when he wrote some things that were not actually ideal according to the social media platforms. Twitter banned him, Instagram was banned, Facebook and all these platforms, they actually banned him, and that is something that is not really palatable if you want to look at it from the scheme of things. Now, meaning if the president, which is one of the most powerful men in the world, could be banned from a platform, from any of these platforms, it means anybody can be banned. Now, the another thing again is the unfair monetization. Those who create content like us, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter, we don't get the benefit, right? Many of these platforms, they get a huge chunk of it, of the benefits, right? So how about we have a system where those who create content get benefits, those who curate content get benefits, those who like or depending on your level of contribution to the network. If you are tweeting something, for example, there is somebody who will share it. There is somebody who is commenting. There's another person who is liking, right? So as long as you engage, so the person who created the content should have more reward. Then the people who are interacting should have more. And then the platform themselves should have reward. Not like Twitter now. Nobody gets anything from the platform. Twitter gets everything. It's not supposed to be so. The other thing again is the monopoly on network effect. You talk about platforms like Facebook and the rest of them. These platforms are literally able to crush competitors. Why? A platform like Facebook has like 2 billion users. So meaning, if you are an upcoming, the kind of upcoming social network, and they approach you for a buyout, and you refuse, they can literally crush you. Why? Because they have the network effect, they have the team, and then they have everything. And there's lack of customization, like we said. You come to Facebook, it is as customizable as you want. You cannot come and say you want to deploy your own code to change some things. You can customize it and say, okay, this is where you want to put your profile picture. No, but at the end of the day, if you look through 1,000 different pages or groups, you discover that everything is almost the same thing, right? So there's no customizable stuff, and then there is dictatorship for the algorithm. There's no algorithm marketplace. But when we talk about the likes of SUBSOCIAL, all these things will not be there. And then another thing I want you to know is that it has been a recipient of many of these grants, Web3 grants that received it, Substrate Builders Program that was being there. So what's some of the core features of this stuff? It talks about serverless public timeline using the likes of IPFS. Talk about rules and permissions, meaning you can come, You can set who wants to be a creator and different stuff. There is a governance. I think recently they did an airdrop, of which we also talk about. And then there is moderation. Moderation is not a kind of general kind of moderation on the system where if you talk about something like Reddit, for example, where they give points karma based on kind of reputation, based on how far you've interacted with a community. This thing is generic, right? So how about we have a system where somebody who is versed in political matters has, let's say, such and such points, and then somebody, that same person, you cannot say because he has X amount of karma, you want to give him leverage in an area they have no knowledge about, probably sports or politics or business or any of these stuff, right? So the reputation and governance, these stuffs, they are supposed to be at community level. So a man may be reputable when we talk about reputation, he's well behaved and the rest of them, and he has been contributing so much in one point, but he might be lagging in another point as well. And there's a treasury for running and developing and promotional activities. So how would they monetize this stuff? Tipping, you can easily send donations or set up subscriptions. That stuff will be available. So somebody can create a kind of patron-like stuff, like you can only subscribe. So only those who are subscribed to that will have the platform, that platform tokens that can actually subscribe. You can rent or you can sell your post, depending. So let's say, for example, that a post had a lot of hits and likes. Somebody can decide to rent it out or sell it, and the rest of them. And there are social tokens and that are tradable. There are smart contracts. You can do a lot of things with them. Then ads, you can decide to say, okay, I want to enable ads on my feed and get some reward and all that. So even Gambi Wood had something to say about this. It says SUBSOCIAL, a general set of Substrate and IPFS based social network toolkit, is looking awesome. There are ideas on the table to propose this for the Kusama and perhaps Polkadot governance platform. I think this is exactly the sort of thing that we will be seeing supported increasing into 2020 through the Polkadot and Kusama treasuries. And then there's a source to that if you want to look. And these are some of the supporters: Lamanda Research, NGC Ventures, Hypershare, and a host of others. So you might be asking, okay, what is the architecture like? It's built on Substrate, IPFS, and the rest of them. And then these are some planned integrations. So guys, that is just a brief about SUBSOCIAL. In our next video, we'll talk about how do you use SUBSOCIAL. That is what we'll talk about.